Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian lad, and this time I have watched the exclusive Loki teaser at 0.25x speed and found 15 new details. Now I'll have you know that I've kept the best detail for the end of this video, so without wasting any of your time, let's begin. Number 1. The trailer begins by showing us the scene from Endgame where Loki escaped. Notice before escaping, his hands were chained and he had a muzzle on his mouth. But after he teleports somewhere else and crash lands, the chains on his hands and the muzzle on his mouth are both gone. Now my theory is that because he crash landed, so the chains and the muzzle both got shattered into pieces, that we can also see here for a second. Also, notice the Bifrost-esque space that Loki travels through. I went frame by frame here and found this, which really looks like one of the eyes of Heimdall. Number 2. In the next shot, we can see some really weird buttons on the elevator. Now all of this could have some deeper meanings, but we wouldn't know that until we see the series. But it immediately gets the point across that this isn't your normal elevator, and that could simply be the point. Then we see for the first time Owen Wilson's character Mobius talking to Loki.
No, I'm taking you someplace to talk.
Well, I don't like to talk.
But you do like to lie, which you just did. Because we both know you love to talk. Talky.
How long have you been here?
I don't know, it's hard to say. You know, time passes differently here in the TVA.
What does that mean?
You'll catch up.
Now notice when Mobius says to Loki that time passes differently here in the TVA, Loki asks what does that mean? Now I'm pretty sure Loki knows what it means, because in Thor Ragnarok, Loki witnessed a planet where time works differently.
Bifrost found me out here weeks ago.
Weeks ago?
Yes.
I just got here.
Time works real different around these parts. On any other world, I'd be like millions of years old. But here on Sakaar,
So a place where time isn't linear shouldn't be a surprise to Loki. Then why did he ask Mobius what does it mean? Now my theory is there are more dialogues in this scene that Marvel has cut short for this teaser. And take a look at this collar lock on Loki's neck. Now this collar could essentially have the same abilities as we saw in Deadpool 2, where it prevents the wearer to use any of their powers. Number 3. Then we come across this hooded figure. There are a lot of speculations regarding who this character might be, but I'm guessing this is Lady Loki. Now let me prove it to you. When this hooded figure drops the lamp, notice that for a split second you can see the left boot of this individual. This person seems to be wearing some sort of high-top lace-up military boot. Now take a look at the fingerless gloves on this person's hand. This is also a big clue, because the use of this fingerless gloves and the boots are very important indicators as to who this character is. Now take a look at this set photo of Lady Loki played by Sophia DiMartino. As you can observe in the picture, you can see Sophia DiMartino's costume, where she's wearing the exact same boot, the fingerless gloves, and even the same baggy pants for good measure. Therefore proved it is Lady Loki. Number 4. We can see Loki back at the old Avengers Tower, but notice as Loki begins to move, there in his hand we can see the scepter, aka the Mind Stone. Number 5. Then we get a few quick shots of Loki being tried at the time court. Now why did I say time court? Because if I zoom in here, it literally says time court. Number 6. Inside the court we can see 3 massive faces behind Gugu Mbatha-Raw, all of which has the unmistakable trademark lines of Kang the Conqueror. Now I have long expected Kang to show up in Loki, and when Jonathan Majors' casting as Kang was revealed officially, I knew right then and there that he will appear in the Loki series. Number 7. Mobius is showing Loki his past self through a projector, but this famous Loki pose, he actually makes it in Thor Ragnarok.
Your savior is here!
But remember, this Loki is yet to live through the events of Ragnarok, because he escaped from the timeline of Avengers 1, and Ragnarok is still 5 years away. This goes to show that Mobius knows very well how Loki's life would have turned out had he not escaped from his original timeline. Number 8. We see Loki landing back in the elevator door line. Now notice there is a green reflection. Now we don't know what it is, but there must be something. Marvel showed us this scene from 2 different angles, and yet it's not clear where that green light is coming from, so this is something they intentionally wanted us not to see. Number 9. In this scene, Mobius is taking something from this child, but take a look at the background. This is some sort of a demonic figure, indicating that in this specific timeline, people worship the devil. Now this could be a huge reference to Mephisto, who we know could appear in the upcoming WandaVision series. Number 10. Loki is flipping his dagger wearing a TVA suit. Now this is a classic move of Loki, because in the teaser of Thor Ragnarok, we saw Loki pulling off the same move, even though this scene was eventually cut from the actual movie. Number 11. Now we get to see this female character that many believe is Black Widow, but that's not true. This in fact is again Lady Loki. Coming back to the set photos, you can see DiMartino has short hair, just like we can see in this scene. The only reason her hair is looking a little bit purple, which might trick some people into thinking this is Black Widow, is because her surroundings are purple as well. The question shouldn't be who she is. The better question is, why is she sitting there amidst all this chaos? Number 12. In the next shot, we see Loki standing back on his feet, but in the background is a devastated New York, including a broken Avengers Tower. So in this alternate timeline, Loki from Avengers 1 probably won, where Tony Stark failed to save the city, and I would guess the primary Loki finds a different Loki ruling or messing up each different timeline. I feel Richard E. Grant playing an old Loki that is ruling the Earth would be a nice storyline. What if the point of the TVA bringing in Loki is to have him travel to multiple timelines to defeat other versions of Loki who have won and caused mass destruction? It wouldn't even surprise me if many shots of Loki in this trailer are of the other Lokis. Number 13. We can see a throne with the letter L over it, indicating this is the throne of Loki. This reminds me of a scene from the first Avengers.
You're missing the point. There's no throne. There is no version of this where you come out on top.
Well, he does, and he actually did. Also, notice this weapon, which looks a lot like Mjolnir. More about this in the last detail. Number 14. Loki is D.B. Cooper. Now, for anyone who doesn't feel like Googling, it's one of America's weird unsolved mysteries. In 1971, a man in a business attire boarded a commercial plane in Portland under the name D.B. Cooper. He claimed to have a bomb in his briefcase and hijacked the plane. At his command, the plane landed again, and the passengers were released in exchange for a parachute and $200,000, which is over $1 million in today's money. The plane then took off again under Cooper's direction, of course. With the passengers now released, only the crew and Cooper with his bomb, money, and parachute were aboard. About 30 minutes after takeoff, he jumped from the plane. No one has seen or heard from him ever since. No one knows who he is or was, where he went, where he came from, or anything. But the authorities did discover some bills of the Columbia River, and that's why when Loki gets sucked into the Bifrost, he leaves a few notes behind. Number 15. Notice when Loki jumps off of the airplane, in his right hand he has the bag full of money, but his left hand kinda looks weird. Now this could be a normal movement, because he's literally jumping off of an airplane. But what if Loki is holding Mjolnir? What if he's using it to fly? You never know with Marvel, do you? Because they have previously edited out Thor's hammer from his hand in the trailer of Avengers Endgame. And is that the case in here as well? Only time will tell. And that's all my findings from the exclusive teaser of Loki. I hope you're happy with this, and if you think I missed any of the hidden details, then please let me know in the comments below. Now lads, I'd really appreciate it if you buy 1 or 2 merch from my very own Canadian Lad store. We ship all over the world, so please don't hesitate to make a purchase even if you live outside the US or Canada. Now if you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up and grab the subscribe button and follow me on Instagram to get updates about my channel. Till then, I'll see you lads in the next one.